Okay, so here we have an animation, right? And we want to use that as a hover element on our site. So basically we want it to play on when we do something and off when we do something else. The easiest, and it's actually easy to do this, even though Flow only exports a toggle button at the moment, it's actually really easy to change that. So let's have a look. So I'm going to just export this to a toggle button. I'm going to hit export. There we go. We're going to open that folder. We are going to go into the toggle button, timeline. The first thing we'll do is going to open up that. Now we're going to click, and that behavior is to just change when you click. And if you fire it fast, it does that. It stops it halfway during the animation and plays the other direction. And now we want to go and open that in Sublime to have a look at what the code looks like. And we're just going to move that over. And this one up here. Okay, so there's our animation. We're actually not going to touch this anymore. Here's our button. We're just going to refresh this in a second. And here's our project timeline. Here's the timeline. Now, there's this div element. We use a div element for this export instead of a button or like a button class because it's easier to resize it and we don't have to deal with like default browser stuff, and it works super well. And you notice here that there's this on click, and what it does when it on clicks, when your mouse clicks, is it triggers the button timeline to toggle. And then it sets a variable as true. That variable means you want it to animate. If it was false, for instance, it would just snap between the two states. Okay, so we're going to go back. We're going to keep that true. And here on mouse enter. And then we're going to say on mouse out. And we like on mouse out and enter better than the other options because that deals with the div and not exiting based on sublayers. Okay, so on mouse enter and on mouse out, and they both toggle the same method. So we refresh the page, and now it doesn't do anything when you click. And this is great. This is like a really nice subtle thing that you can do. And let me show you a great example on the MailChimp site. You can actually have all these like lovely hidden elements based on hover effects in your site. And so that's how you would do that with Flow right now.